Hey guys, this is Daniel Allen Jones here. I'm with Steve Bates of Houston MUFON.
State Section Director for Section 6 that covers from the entire Gulf Coast from Louisiana down to Mexico.
Great, so you guys have a lot of different cases you go through and have been working on many throughout the years. We're here close to the location of the Cash-Landrum incident, which we visited earlier today. If you could just give us a little recap on what we did during our outing.
All right, so we met here. We took a bus up to New Caney, which is where the Betty Cash and Vicki Landrum had started their journey that night, and they had dinner there and then drove home to Dayton, Texas. And along the way, they saw a UFO out in the middle of the road, and they stopped and got out, and you know, the whole Cash-Landrum story. But in any case, so we drove that route in the bus. We stopped at the places where they saw things and where witnesses saw things, and we got out and we looked at the site where the incident actually took place. And so yeah, that's what we did.
Well, I thought it was very fascinating. I've known about the case for some years now, but it was great to actually come and visit it in person, and I'm glad that you helped put this together to show that people, whether you're a MUFON member or just an enthusiast of the subject, or if you're a researcher or an investigator, this is an opportunity for people to come out and see about something that's not as well known in Texas history. And this is a very incredible case, because it's not only did people see an object, but there were also military helicopters and even the fact that they were radiated, and that's a really important factor.
Absolutely, yes. They were radiated. They had symptoms. They got doctor reports. There were police involved who saw, you know, I mean, credible witnesses. It's a really amazing case. And you know, to me, one of the funniest things that kind of came out of this visit this evening is that we have a number of members of our chapter and people who came because they saw the email, who live within a mile of the place and didn't even know it. They've been driving up and down that road for years and had no idea. So an event like this brings people out, and they, you know, a lot of people were amazed, like, wow, I live right there. So it was cool.
Yeah, I think it's really great for people to come out within the community and just see some of these fascinating places for themselves, get an idea about, again, the history of something like this that's happened in the area, and find out what we can learn when it comes to this subject. So, Steve, here recently you attended the 2018 MUFON Symposium.
Yes, in Cherry Hill, that's correct. And that was quite an experience. So if you're a UFO enthusiast, you're familiar with all the guys we see on TV all the time. You know, Nick Pope and you know, Travis Walton and all those kind of guys. And of course, Luis Elizondo, everybody knows a lot about him right now. He's recently, he worked for the DOD, and he was involved in the ATIP program, and so he was the keynote speaker there. And one of the coolest things about the MUFON Symposium is all of these guys, they get the A-list people there, and they're just standing around. You just walk up, hi, how are you doing? Shake their hands. I had an accidental one-on-one breakfast with Elizondo, got to sit down with him and talk for a few minutes. It was fascinating, it really was.
Yeah, so I think this is a really great opportunity for people watching to learn a little bit about your firsthand encounter with someone that has come from the Pentagon to tell people through the media and through these recent articles and reports to say that yes, the government is researching UFOs and looking into this subject quite seriously, that the phenomenon is real, there is a legitimate aspect to what is being dealt with in their investigations. And with that, you got some one-on-one time with Lou Elizondo, so tell us how that was.
Well, let me tell you, one of the most fascinating things about the meeting with Elizondo is that he comes across as very genuine. And even in his keynote speech, he said, look, I want everybody here to know that all of the video that was released from DOD, all of the information I'm telling you, this is, we're not leaking things. This is signed off on. It is, if you ask me questions, because we did a Q&A, if you ask me questions that I can't answer, because there are things I can't answer, I'll just tell you I can't. But anything that I can and I'm allowed to, I will. And he was very, very personable, very real. He didn't come across as, you know, making stuff up or, you know, wanting a lot of attention. He was just, I want people to know. And so, yeah, he told us in his keynote speech, and then again in talking with people and my one-on-one with him, that in a year from now, at the symposium a year from now, it's going to be a completely different conversation. He talked about the work that's been done at CERN. He's talked about how we have done experimentation to the extent that we understand. You know, there's a lot of fear with CERN about creating microscopic black holes that they might suck the whole planet in and all that. And,
Yeah.
you know, he talked about that. He said, you know, in there is the key to this technology. He told everybody at the symposium that their function, ATIP's function at the DoD, was specifically to study and understand how the UFO technology works. Can somebody get our lights back on? Okay. and he said they figured it out.
Wow.
So and he said around the late January, February timeframe, expect for something big to come out. That next year we're going to be having a completely different conversation, that the whole face of ufology is going to change. And I talked to him, you know, he's involved with To the Stars Academy now, TTSA.
Yep.
And of course when it hit, it was a big splash, and you know, you got the Blink 182 guy, and you know, it was all exciting. And then it just died down. And so I confronted him about that. I said, hey, you know, what's the deal with that? Did you guys just kind of fizzle out? He just looked at me square in the eye. He says, the calm before the storm. So
Wow.
it was powerful.
So it leaves us to only suspect that for next year we've got a lot in store, and we've got, you know, different things to look forward to coming down the
Absolutely.
line. And from what I understand, Jan Harzan had mentioned that this will be a dripping disclosure, just little by little, but it seems like it's coming pretty quick here toward next year.
It looks like it's coming.
So I think that it's a great opportunity to be able to have someone like you share your experience. What would you say is your number one takeaway from the symposium this year?
I think Elizondo was the number one takeaway, and then right behind that, number two was how accessible the people are when you go there. It is not an aloof, like these guys are back in the green room or something like that.
Yeah.
They're just right there. They're all very friendly. Travis Walton, Nick Pope, all those guys.
Great
you
guys.
just hang out with them in the bar after all the hoo-ha and,
Yeah.
and everything. It's really great. And all the top people from MUFON are there, and again, very accessible. You just walk right up and talk to them, and
Yeah,
it's
you know,
really good.
those are really awesome guys, and I've been honored to be able to work with them before, and it's cool to see that you got to connect with them there as well.
Absolutely.
So, being the director here at Houston MUFON, share a little bit about what you guys have coming down the line and how people can get involved.
That's a good question. So I've only been doing Houston MUFON for about a year. Honestly, the club sort of fell into my lap, and so it was fairly small, and we're working really hard to build it up. And I mean, we're Space City. We're the fourth largest city, you know, in the U.S.
Yeah.
We've got NASA here. We should have a really strong group. And so we're working on building the group right now. We're really, and through events like this that really bring people out, and we want to get more hands-on, we want to get more active. We've got a website now, we've got the Facebook and all that stuff. And so, you know, coming out to a meeting, we have them every month, first Saturday of every month. And we're going to continue to do that and continue to put on events and do things to really bring some attention and focus to the fact that we're here. You know, a lot of people came out of the woodwork for this event, and I think it would have been even more people if it had not been a Thursday night.
Sure.
Right? So, yeah.
Well, I think it was a great time coming from Dallas as a representative of DFW MUFON. I'm
Yeah,
glad
we
to be able
really
to connect with
appreciate
you
that.
guys here in Houston, and not to mention we had William Putin for the San Antonio
That's right.
MUFON, and those guys came out, so it's like we had a united front from the Texas
We really did.
MUFON group, and I'm really glad to see we got to come together and really do something
Right.
as whole, and I'm looking forward to more events like this. So how can people find out more and get a hold of you guys?
Well, HoustonMUFON.com. You can go there. Our website. We've got a meetup. We've got a Facebook, Houston MUFON. You can contact us through any of those means. And again, one of the things that I'm really excited about is having you guys out here from Dallas, having the guys from San Antonio. I really met with our state director and Ken from San Antonio. He's the state section director in San Antonio and runs the chapter there. We want to come together. We want to start coordinating our groups. We want to really make Texas strong with MUFON, and yeah, so.
I think this is a great way to keep that up, and I'm really glad to have been able to attend this awesome event. It's a really awesome way to be able to see everyone here come together. So once again, Steve Bates, I'm really glad to be a part of this event and look forward to being a part of several others to come.
Great. So. And let us know when you have events. We'll see what we can do to get together a group and come on out.
Appreciate it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll stay in touch, and we'll see you next time.
HoustonMUFON.com. You can go there. Our website. We've got a meetup. We've got a Facebook, Houston MUFON.